Welcome to the Nerdy Paradox.
Hey, I'm good. I've got a lot of practice. You want me to hit this one out?
I mean, you can do it if you want. If you feel you want to hit the reins.
Good morning. Yeah, I got this one. I'm fucking.
This is your moment to shine.
Hey, lot of Twitch practice. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. My name is Mike, otherwise known as Squiddy P, and you're watching the Nerdy Paradox. I'm joined today with my two co-hosts. We have Rudy.
Hello there, Rudy Manchego. Yeah, how you guys doing?
Rudy fucking Manchego.
Yeah, I was like,
wow,
the intensity.
It was a bit violent than I was expecting, but okay, yeah, let's.
And James Raw.
I'm not doing presenting work today. It's weird. How are you, Mike?
How does it feel? Well? Yeah, how's it feel being on the other side of the microphone?
Do you know what?
Honestly, here's the rain.
It's nice. It's nice to have people actually want my opinion for once, as opposed to just like, oh, he's just got the voice. He's got the voice for radio, so he can do it for us. So, I presume I'm now taking over because I heard you say take the reins, James. So I'll take over again. Grand.
All yours, buddy.
All mine. Yes, it's the latest installment of the Nerdy Paradox's Sodcast, episode 3, if I'm not mistaken. Apologies if you're listening to this as it goes out, or within that same sort of similar time frame, for the lateness of the last one, because Lord knows it's been very difficult for me to get to a computer and, edit. So, yeah, but by the time you hear this, you'll hopefully have heard and watched the last one. So you'll be all caught up in all things Nerdy Paradox. Isn't that nice? Isn't that lovely? First and foremost, Rudy, are you well?
I'm good, thank you very much. Yeah, I feel like I've probably had more sleep than you have, though, so...
The only way I could get sleep is if I died. Which is a possibility. Yes.
Honestly, Wall Street bankers in the 80s have more sleep than you.
Yeah, probably. Don't have kids, ladies and gentlemen. Don't do it. It's not worth it. You lose so much sleep. I miss my sleep. How are you, Mike? Speaking of all things, kid.
I beat Shadow of the Erd Tree.
Wow. Okay, fair enough.
I am swell. How are you?
For context, we are recording this on the 8th of September, so if you listen to this and it's December or even 2025, this was news when it was recorded in September.
Grand Theft Auto 6 might come out in 6 years. Maybe.
Yeah,
no.
It's our 6-year countdown for GTA 6.
You heard it here first.
What will happen first, GTA 6 or Microsoft releasing an exclusive on their Xbox consoles? Which is a nice segue.
Is that a segue?
That's a segue, sir, into today's topic of conversation, which is Xbox/Microsoft. The whole idea of a console war, and do we think A, that there is one still going on, and B, has Microsoft thrown in the boot?
You're saying it so delicately. Microsoft and Xbox. What's the point, ladies and gentlemen?
Wow, he's cut straight through. Wow,
that guy.
In true Mike fashion, he's gone straight into
so much diplomacy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
we are still trying to get bought out by Microsoft, right? I mean, that's the plan. Why do we say things? Is that was?
Well, these such things about Microsoft, about Xbox.
Well,
I thought you
I guess the thing is, I guess the most recent news, obviously, coming over the last few months, again September 2024 right now, has been, over the past year, Microsoft has kind of started to move exclusivity and make that a little bit less of a thing, I guess, as a branding. So obviously they've got the Xbox Series consoles, so the X and the S. They've also now obviously got Game Pass, which is available also on PC as well as their consoles. Yeah. And it's normally that's been a thrust. Like, you want to play our games, you can get it on Game Pass if you subscribe to the right tier. But they've kind of watered down and changed their tiers a little bit and made them a bit more complicated. And now they started bringing some of their exclusive games over onto PlayStation and Nintendo as well. So first, some of its smaller games, something like Sea of Thieves and things like that. Well, I say smaller, but probably ones that have been out a while. But now it's coming clear that some of the really big exclusives, like the upcoming Indiana Jones game, it's due to come out at the end of December, is going to be ported to PS5, which is kind of a massive deal, which within a few months it's going to be available on the rival console, and it's probably one of the biggest exclusives Microsoft's got. It's like a massive brand named, AAA first party game, single player experience, which is kind of, Sony's wheelhouse and Nintendo's wheelhouse that they're just going to make available. And it's had quite a lot of Xbox commentators and I guess fans of purchase kind of online really stating like, what's the point for there to be brand loyalty? Why should I have a Series X console or an Xbox Series S when I can play it on PC? I'll be able to play most of the games on any other platform. What's the point of it? And it's an interesting one if you view it through the prism of, I guess, traditional console conversation. I guess that's my viewpoint. Is there a strategy? My question probably to Microsoft: is there a strategy here, or is it just reacting to the fact that they've spent way too much money and they're not making the money back on Game Pass, which is a question as well. But I don't know. What's everyone else's thoughts?
Well, I'll go first. For people who've probably been listening to the three of us ramble on for however long we've been doing this outside of the Nerdy Paradox, you'll know of the three of us, I'm the one who's been the most staunch supporter of Xbox in the past. And even I've been wavering on my devotion to on the big X. I mean, the problem is, right, so it's the same conversation basically that was had with Xbox and Xbox users last generation with the Xbox One and the Xbox One X, because we didn't have many exclusives at all in that generation. Last time we had a proper strew of them coming out was for the 360, and then just they kind of veered off from what they were doing as a console / exclusive producer and just became like an all-round media product, I suppose would be the best way to describe them.
More of the subscriptions, I guess. Subscriptions are kind of, I guess it's a software as a service provider, which I've got a bit on because
When was Game Pass officially launched? Because it wasn't until like tail end of last generation / going into this generation.
In my head, it's 2017, 2018. It started to come out.
So that was Xbox One.
2017, June 1st.
Oh, well done, Rudy. So they had.
Yeah.
Do you remember with the launch of the Xbox One, and they had Kinect, and that was going to be something that was always available and always on Xbox, and everyone shouted and cursed and screamed at them about it all, and they flip-flopped on that. And then several years later down the line, that same sort of technology was like brought into other consoles and stuff like that, and other markets. And it's like, well, they were kind of ahead of their time, but like not in a good way, you know what I mean? So it's like they had the finger on the pulse of things that were happening, but like the pulse was a dying corpse of a market.
Here's the thing: 10 years later, when you look at like how does gaming look on like what people would consider in a lot of cases optimal gaming, which you get from the PC in a lot of cases because you have the highest possible fidelity. Yeah. And no one's looking to hook up those kind of peripherals to their PC. No. It's pretty much you got VR controller or keyboard and mouse. We haven't strayed a whole lot from what we like. We like mouse and keyboard. We like a controller.
Yeah, and it's like any innovation. It's got to. Sometimes you don't realize you want it until you have it. But I don't think anyone ever saw the point. Like I think as soon as people saw the Switch and they were like, "Hey, I can both dock this and play it on TV and take it with me and have a console experience." Like I didn't think about that, but that'd be cool.
I mean, creative innovation.
The same thing with the Steam Deck. Like, yeah, I can take Steam Deck and play my library seamlessly. Like, oh, that's cool. And it's a little bit like, and what can I do with things? Like, well, it always knows what I'm doing at all times and listens. Oh, okay. How does that benefit my life? But ultimately, we've now become used to, you're right, totally right, James. We've become used to that now in everything else that we have.
It's become
but that was sold as like they just couldn't, how does that benefit me as a gamer? Just like, well, it doesn't, but you won't need a smart TV. You just need, before smart TVs, it was like, oh yeah, you can watch all your films and everything on here. And it was like, but I want a game. It's like, well, okay. And then eventually, most people use their PS4 and Xbox to watch TVs on as a set-top box for years. Like, it was still one of the most popular ways to watch Netflix was on PlayStations and stuff like that before smart TVs took over.
I mean, in a way, Xbox got what they want. If I didn't have Crave or Amazon Prime installed on my Series X, I wouldn't turn it on. So,
but that's an interesting point, because if we put from a Microsoft perspective, because for those that don't know, in my I have a real life where I pretend to be competent at something, and I work with a software house that deals with Microsoft stuff, and the subscription models what they've rolled out over the last 10, 12 years, eventually for everything. If you ever want to get Microsoft Office, you know that it's subscription, it's 365,
yes.
It's all their stuff now. They don't sell single licenses anymore, really. You can get some exceptions, but overall, almost for everyone, the same if you want their servers and their tech and their Azure cloud stuff, it's all subscription, and it's expensive, but it's making massive amounts of money for them. So I kind of understood in 2017 the idea of pushing the Game Pass model a little bit, and the whole kind of being device agnostic, because that's what they did, and they offered things like their own range of laptops like the Surface, but those were kind of like for fans. Like you want to have a Microsoft branded device that's quite cool, get a Surface or whatever, but we don't really care as long as you pay for 365. Have it on a Mac, have it on a PC, have it on an Android, iOS, don't care. But it's an interesting one because they haven't really decided in the Xbox division whether that's the real future, because they've tried to do both, which is no, buy our consoles, buy our exclusivity, have this,
and buy
but also
Game Pass as well.
Yeah, but also you can have Game Pass wherever you want. You can have it cloud gaming. You can play it on a phone. You can play it everywhere. And it's like, well, what's the message? What do you want me to do? Do you want me to only have an Xbox, or do you want me to have something else? Because we're kind of the exception to the gaming rule, which is that we're all multi. We're not really particularly held to one brand. We've all got PCs and different consoles, etc. We just want to play wherever's best and got the experience.
That's
a
further nail in their coffin. If the only major offering point they have is like, hey, we have. Do you guys want live service Halo Infinite that we're gonna forget about after like a couple years and not actually complete the game and break our promises to you? And we're like, when you only have that and maybe like, I don't know, where the fuck's the next Gears game? When you're offering is exclusivity and you don't even have that, it kind of leaves you in a bit of a raw spot versus your competitors who they're gonna...
kind of, if I'm most people I guess choose one device, typically, like I say the average gamer, because it's expensive. If you're a family, stuff like that, you're going to get your kid, you don't want to get your kid a PlayStation and everything else. You typically get one dedicated console. You might have peripherals and whatnot, or Switch, but if you're making the investment choice, you're going to look at, okay, what's got the most backing, what's got the most titles, what's going to work. That's where this exclusivity comes in. That's where it pays off. It's like, I really want to play the next Gears. I love the Gears series, or I really want to play Halo or whatever, or Forza. It's a no-brainer. I'm going to get an Xbox. But if you get rid of that completely, then PC looks more attractive, or PlayStation looks more attractive.
And this generation pushed me to PC more than ever. This generation, there's nothing really on Series X. I can play it all on PC. PC it is.
I've never even really understood PC gaming, but look at me. I'm on my Steam Deck like every day. Madness. What's a madness?
One of the things I was looking at, because I've got the Series S and the PlayStation 5 hooked in, and I've got no space for anything else but to you. And I'm like, well, look at how much I use the Series S at the moment. I might as well I've been really tempted to sell that and put it towards getting an eGPU and plugging in handheld to it with a slightly better graphics card, and just playing. If I want to play Game Pass games, it's there, and I can take it handheld. Why do I have this dedicated box to play Game Pass? I just don't have there's no point. I play most of my Game Pass is now played on PC.
Especially
play it wherever I like and however I like.
As cloud gets better and you need less you need less dedicated power in your hand, and they can just you can just offload that elsewhere. It becomes less and less of an issue there too.
Totally. I use cloud quite a lot because I probably like you, James, I grab gaming wherever I can, so sometimes in front of the TV, but more often than not it's on a Steam Deck, in bed, or like on the toilet, or anywhere that I can get 15 minutes peace.
Wherever.
Yeah, or anywhere, wherever I can get a bit of stuff for that. And like, if I can't get to my console TV, then if I'm playing an Xbox or Game Pass game, I'll just as easily boot it up on cloud and get, and play it there. It's just really easy to do it. Like, why wouldn't I? But again, why do I need a console for that? I don't.
Well, even with that, on the flip side, if the long-standing rumours are true and Xbox are going to do their own handheld console, maybe next year, maybe the year after. Again, what would be the point of an Xbox box when you could have a handheld?
That'd be a smart pivot for them, if anything. Like,
well, yeah,
if because that's realistically what's kind of.
It's like it's the future, but not really the future because we've already been down handhelds as a thing.
Well, I also think because for those not know, haven't listened to it, James and myself a bit were on the Stadia bandwagon for a bit while it lived, and I still maintain that the concept of the Stadia was a game changer, just badly executed. I genuinely feel that if the software offering was there, the ability to play major AAA games, like the people want to play. For example, the people that only want to play FIFA or Madden or MLB or whatever, or
the big yearly releases.
The big yearly releases, they just tend to play, the live service kind of play typical, or the likes of Fortnite or even Destiny and stuff like that.
Or
plug
Roblox,
it in and just stream it. Yeah, exactly. Plug it in and just stream it for $50, $60, whatever it was when it launched, for $100, and just stream it is so much better than having a dedicated console if you're a casual gamer that only plays a few things, that's not interested in collections or stuff like that or physical media. And I think maybe Microsoft have got value in doing that and just saying, right, this is an app that you can get on your Apple TV or your Fire TV or your Smart TV or whatever. Pay for Game Pass, get all these games, get all our stuff, at this price. I feel it's attractive.
So Sony did a little handheld thing.
Yeah. Are you talking about the most recent one?
Yeah. And how'd that work out? How as like a comparison to what Xbox might theoretically be looking at if they were to.
Surprisingly, as someone that has one, because of course I do.
Oh, you do? Okay, tell us about it.
Rudy has a handheld console.
Oh my!
Never. What? This is never.
No way.
This is unprecedented.
This is the reason why my wife has said you're not allowed to spend any on gaming this month, because I acquired another handheld. It's a really bizarre device, which is been taken Sony by surprise at how popular it's been.
Really?
They had real problems stocking it, and it's sold absolutely loads, like way more than it was hard to get hold of for about 6 months because Sony didn't make enough of them. Not in a kind of Nintendo will be that. I just think they thought it'd be a niche little device that people would do it, and having used it quite a bit, it does one thing, it does it quite well if you've got good enough internet, which is it's a PlayStation experience handheld in the sense of the full controllers, the DualSense feels good, the screen's good. There's a couple of little things I have issues with it, but overall it's pretty handy. It does one thing really well. If you want to play a PlayStation, you want to go lay in bed, it works great. You can just pick on and play, and it does it. And again, it locks you into the PlayStation ecosystem. It's like, oh, I want some flexibility. Well, you can play it in bed if you want to, and that kind of stuff. It's good. It's a good little device, and it could be better. There's a lot more. It's not a proper handheld. It's just a streaming machine, but it's not bad. But I think that's another thing that they're looking at and going, that Sony are going to look at and go, this is sold way better than we expected it to. Like it's sold a good, I think I've read somewhere it's sold millions of units, which I wouldn't have expected. When it came out, I thought it looked a bit rubbish, and then I thought, I'll try it because it's me and I'm a whore for handhelds. And
you're a collector of
actually, yeah, it was a lot better. Yeah, it's a lot better than I thought it was going to be. And I used it a lot for stuff like when I was playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, a huge open world game with a lot of boring tracking around side quests. Just perfect to boot it up, instantly connects, and play for 15-20 minutes and put it down again. Really freed up from having to have the big TV and whatnot. So it works, and I think like that and things like the Steam Deck and other handhelds have also changed the way we play a little bit.
Yeah.
Quite a bit.
Steam Deck is a godsend.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, James.
They've bridged the gap between regular console players and PC master race as well, haven't they? So.
Steam Deck is, I think, one of the best pieces of gaming hardware to ever be released. As someone, it's just brilliant. It's almost like they decided to play Todd Howard's own game. It just works. It's just it's just Todd. Brilliant. It is just it brings PC for example, my other podcast co-host doesn't like PC stuff. He's like, this is pretty cool.
Hey, that's a win.
Yeah, exactly.
If you can get
and
Rudy
it's
to like
worked.
something, yeah. That's
You can
always-
literally.
Yeah.
My fiance and I are able to play 2 games simultaneously on the same Steam account by putting the Steam Deck in offline mode while I play on the PC too. Like, you just keep finding new utilities for it. It's
That's
such a wonderful little device,
That's a game
It is.
changer, that is.
right?
It is. Yeah, it's just, as I said before loads of times, I think it's great. And again, I don't know, like, I think Microsoft's choice is, and I'll come on to like I did console wars in a bit, but Microsoft's choice is, are you a service provider? Are you a Netflix service provider where you're completely device agnostic? Because how awesome would it be to have, I'm not sure, I'm sure Valve would allow it, but to be able to get Steam, proper Xbox support streaming on Steam Deck and on everything, and just I pay my monthly fee and I get a whole bunch of curated games and a bunch of exclusives occasionally.
So what do you guys think a next Xbox would look like then, if at all, for Microsoft? What would be a feasible direction for Microsoft to move the Xbox brand in?
I think it depends on because we're going to get a generation refresh, aren't we, in the next couple of years. It's going to happen. PlayStation 5 Pro and whatever the equivalent Xbox Series is going to be. Z or something, I don't fucking know. And then whether they incorporate handheld, because they'd be stupid not to, because the success of the PlayStation Portable? No.
Portal, yeah.
Portal,
Yeah.
And
Yep.
Steam Deck and everything. So Microsoft and big boy Phil's seeing all that money being spent in that market. He's like, yeah, all right, yeah, we'll take some of that pie and let's oversaturate that market.
I got one. I think they could essentially convert the Xbox app on computer into a dedicated Xbox overlay, and then Xbox has essentially just become dumbed down computers running an Xbox overlay.
I think that's the
running
way it'll
Game
go.
Pass or something in the background.
Yeah. I think what they'll do is they'll make a like connoisseur version, like high powered spec PC box, basically. As you said, probably running Windows, but on top of it. And
They're
that's
blending Xbox and Windows so much, anyways. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it practically is under the hood the similar thing. I think they're going to do that, and then they'll have like the basic box for streaming and stuff like that. So again, 2 branded devices, but one for the real enthusiasts who want the really, really high powered
The S
stuff.
and X row.
Yeah, exactly. Like they've kind of done with their Surface laptops and whatnot. You can get some really like MacBook Pro powered Surface laptops that are really expensive and quite cool. Again, for the people that are into that stuff. And then you can get then you get standard laptops, some really cheaper ones that do as well. But that's it. But the majority of what they do, it's about the software. It's about pushing Game Pass. I think that's what it's going to be. And I think probably you're right, James. There'll be a third line, which will be a handheld as well. Like, hey, Xbox series of consoles, games, handhelds, play PC games wherever you want, because you can,
If it's working for PlayStation and Nintendo, they'd be kind of nuts to not try it.
The other thing I'm sure I saw online a number of months ago, and it might have just been a rumor rather than a leak or anything. They were looking at like a mini Xbox, which acts more like a PC. Like you guys are literally just saying. I could be waffling out of my arse on that one, but it sounds like something that they would do.
Yeah, if you've got a good enough internet connection though, like you don't even need really an Xbox if you want to go and click down the cloud route. You just need a small PC box.
I was just gonna say that. You know what? I think Microsoft has eyes for whatever lunch Stadia was eating, whatever's left of that.
I mean, to be fair, there's still a sizable market share that needs to be tapped into, because GeForce Now is slowly
and it's in cloud beta. Like I've played around with a little bit of Game Pass cloud game. It works.
No, to be
quite
fair,
well. Yeah.
Before Stadia, I used Xbox Cloud streaming all the time, and then Stadia was just more
playing games without installing.
Stable.
Stadia was brilliant. Like hardware-wise,
Of all the cloud-based streaming services, it was hands down the best service going for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Another thing, whilst we're on the subject of cloud streaming, the fact that Xbox Game Pass is now almost fully incorporated GeForce Now, as I just mentioned it, into each other. Like, you can play a lot of Game Pass Ultimate subscription to play on your PC. You can play those games available on Game Pass through GeForce Now, which I think you'd also need a separate subscription for, because that's how GeForce Now works. Rudy?
Yeah, because you can play GeForce Now for free, but you have to wait ages for a spare rig.
And you only
So
get
practically-
what is it, 2 hours, 1 hour gaming, something like that?
Yeah, you get a limit time, and you get the lowest spec rig or something like that they call it. But basically, you don't get as good a graphics.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, so I think it's better if you're a commentary around it is, but it is better if you're one or the other subscriber to it. But yeah, GeForce Now's fine, but it's an interesting. I think that's the only strategy that really makes sense. But I'm kind of interested on the topic of like the original console model, which is one previous generations has been exclusivity typically, and quality of first party output. It's what's kept Nintendo in the game entirely. It's the only thing that's kept it, through the good years and the bad, has been largely
A good Zelda game.
Yeah, a good Zelda game,
Wow.
a good Mario game,
Yeah.
a good, it's or system sellers like Wii Sports or whatever
Mario
they tried
Kart.
with the Wii U. Yeah, absolutely, Mario Kart. Those are the things that keep it going, and they're obviously going to keep being wedded to that. It worked for 360 in the early days. They sprung ahead because of the quality of their first party output, Gears,
Back in the
Halo 3,
day.
etc.
Yeah. But that's kind of the problem now, is they're not doing that.
And they haven't been
Yeah,
doing
but
that for
I-
2
I-
generations.
And I think and obviously Sony, gained ground back in the PS3 by its later titles. By the end, it actually ended up selling as much or slightly more than 360, just by the end of it. But it's mainly the PS4, obviously, era. But I don't really know. There hasn't been a new Nintendo console this generation in the sense of because it's out of sync. But I don't know if the PS5 won because of exclusivity or was sold so well, other than it carried the brand loyalty because it was backwards compatible. Like, if you
just thinking about it. Sony might be winning, but Xbox, like Microsoft's not necessarily. Xbox as a brand might be losing, but Microsoft is not losing.
Microsoft never
They'll just-
loses.
No, I'm just thinking about it. Like okay, so they might not have the big exclusivity. Where's Halo? Where's Gears of War? Obviously, Halo Infinite, a bit of a letdown. But well, they do own COD, and you know what's going to be pretty big coming up here? There's going to be another Doom game. People are excited for that. Are these necessarily going to be exclusives? No. Does Microsoft own these? Yes. So they are putting out big titles. They're just not exclusive. And they're
that's the
going on
thing,
Game Pass.
it's
It's a broad approach.
does exclusivity matter? And I guess that's the question we don't know, because Sony's first party output has dropped massively because of the how complex it is to make games nowadays. You've still 3 years into the PS5 generation almost, and you're down to 1, maybe 2 large AAA titles a year from them. That's a massive drop from the PS4 era, and they were banging out 2-3 major first party titles a year of really good quality. So yeah, it's a bit of a difficult one. Like, is that really what's selling the systems, or is it just that people had a PS4 because that won the last one and they carried the library across and brand recognition, etc., etc.
Brand loyalty.
Does it? Because I think even you can't really trust much he says, but Good Jacket Phil Spencer was saying we lost the worst generation to lose because everyone's got digital libraries that are hundreds of titles deep now. My PlayStation library is huge because I've had the PS Plus for years and loads of sales and stuff. I bought loads of stuff, so it was a no-brainer for me to start. And they were producing sequels to the games I enjoyed on PS4. Like, hey, I want to play Spider-Man 2. Hey, I want to play Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. I want to play Horizon Forbidden West.
That's why Steam has so much weight to so many people. Established libraries, and we're not willing to switch over.
Completely. Like, why would I bother? Why would I bother? Because it's here, and
you're invested.
Yeah, I think it's a big deal.
And they're cheaper all the time anyway. Like, how much you could buy, I don't know, say Red Dead Redemption 2, as just an example, on your Xbox or PlayStation, compared to how much you could get it on, I don't know, CD keys online for Steam.
Well, and that's a factor too.
That's a huge thing. This is why I don't. as you know, I was regularly called at our previous incarnation the Sony pony, because, I had a lot of Sony consoles. And yeah, I do like a lot of their first party output. I'm not entirely convinced, although they are sales units and, revenue making massive amounts this generation, I don't feel they're quite as strong or as dominant as they were, because I don't feel that they're doing much in the games industry. As I said, I feel they're just doing what they did, but slower. And
I was on my PS4 all the time. Hell, I burnt through 2 of them.
Yes.
PS5, I got like 2-3 games for it, and it's pretty much just a dedicated 4K player.
And the key thing for me is, if a game comes out, there's got to be a good, compelling reason for me to get it on PlayStation 5 rather than PC now.
Yes.
The reason why is because it's just infinitely cheaper on PC, even at launch. Like as you said, like Star Wars Outlaws that's just come out, you can get that anything between, like in UK price, between like £40 to 55 at most.
I think the cheapest is 35.
35, yeah, exactly. If anywhere now in the UK, well, it's dropped because of the launch has gone down, but even so, at launch it was £60 to £70 in the UK cheapest price from PlayStation 5. So, well, I'm going to play it where it's cheaper.
Yeah.
Obviously.
And again, the fidelity, like PlayStation, unless you have a weaker, on PC, unless you have a weaker computer than a PlayStation, then you're getting a better experience anyways. You're getting a higher frame rate to resolution. You're getting more settings. You're getting more, more flexibility. So in a lot of cases, and you know what, I get it. You can mouse and keyboard on PlayStation as well, but personally, for a lot of like shooters or anything with like fine precision, I want a mouse anyways, which leans me.
I need to make a
computer.
confession, guys. I can't do mouse and keyboard. I'm rubbish.
How can I, mate? Don't worry about it. Don't worry.
I find it. Some people might stop listening, but fair dues of those that can. Even first-person shooters, I can't for the life of me. I'm nowhere near as accurate as on a controller. It's me. Don't worry, I'm not saying
it's a practice. But that's the thing is like I remember it's the amount of like it's when practiced the amount of fine detail and the amount of when people are more practiced with obviously people play with whatever they're comfortable with, right? And you can get really used to a controller. I find that sensitivity options, you don't have to worry about dead zones and stuff like that. There's just more detail of motion with a mouse, and I noticed it very particularly when I swapped from PS4 playing Doom or Doom Eternal over to PC and playing it on Nightmare. Once you get that muscle memory in there, it's just something else, and you can't.
I'm too old to learn muscle memory. Keeping my bowel muscles going is as good as I can hope. In my life. So yeah, I'm getting old, guys. So.
I've been playing StarCraft since I was 5, so yeah, it's just the way it is.
Yeah. But the other thing I wanted to touch on is the whole idea about whether subscription models work, because you're seeing across the board that a load of major companies like entertainment are struggling to make the subscription services be worthwhile, not for the consumer but for them. Like Disney Plus hemorrhaging, costing Disney loads, Netflix never really making a profit, Amazon Prime throwing billions at bad Tolkien adaptations. Yeah, I don't know if it's a subscription is a sustainable model, particularly for games. And it makes me think of, because it's coming up to, already has been the year anniversary of Starfield.
Yeah,
that's a major AAA title from Bethesda that I installed day one because I had Game Pass, played it for 5 or 6 hours and went nah, and just never played it again. Which I would never have done if I'd have paid money for it.
No, exactly.
Because I'd have been I paid money for this.
You'd have either refunded it or you'd have persevered because you spent the money.
Absolutely. I'm not saying it's a bad game, but I probably would have persevered and got some more enjoyment out of it if I felt invested because I made a purchase based upon reviews, considerations, love for the company and whatnot.
I can't say anything without being accused of sunken cost fallacy, so
I'm going to use the term downside very loosely for this, but it is a downside to Game Pass in that the people who use it on the regular, i.e. the people who aren't just there for the big releases, they become so spoiled for choice that if anything, there's too much to play.
Yeah, what if this is opening the fridge, looking at it, closing the fridge again, or the Netflix wandering thing forever?
Yeah,
Or
the
Steam
analysis
eyes
paralysis.
Yes.
Yeah, it's 100%. You're wandering through it, and I go, I'm going to try this. And go like, it didn't gel in the first 10 minutes. Well, there's an option to go, I'll just get something else.
I'll just dip on it, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas, again, normally when I play the game, I'm into it. Like, I bought it for a reason because I've researched it, or I think it's something that I want, or even it's an impulse buy. Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, that trait. That's a cute little robot rescuing people. I wanna buy that.
Changing the dynamic of how we engage in, how we define our enjoyment of it, or our capacity, or like threshold. Where's the cutoff point for what we deem acceptable in a short? Because like throw a game like Fallout 3 on Game Pass and ask that from someone, they're gonna be bored in the first like 5-10 minutes and be like, nah, fuck this game, before they hit any of the interesting open world, like games with slow starts or anything like that, or like long tutorials, kind of just like offer an immediate bad foot, because
that's been one of the criticisms of Steam's 2-hour refund policy, which is that a huge amount of people didn't like it, automatically return it, can get my money back. But there's a little bit more effort to go into than just like exiting out and deleting and downloading the next thing. But yeah, I do wonder if Microsoft have kind of, again, undermined their own business case, which is subscription models are great, but then they're also trying to whip up hype for titles and stuff like that. Again, are you a content provider that just serves as much as possible, which is great value for the consumer, but you just serve as much as possible up? Or are you someone that's trying to drum up interest in tentpole titles where you want to get as people as whipped up into a frenzy and keep it in the public consciousness for as long as possible? Because you're 100% right, so many classic games you would turn off within an hour if you weren't invested in it in some way. Like Skyrim is another example. Like it only becomes good after The Witcher 3 is another one. Like only really becomes good after a good few hours of play.
You see the ripples of your actions. Yeah.
Exactly. But the first is, but I'm just running around on a horse. Do we think as a collective, as a group, as people do you think that Microsoft has got a grand plan, or are they just freewheeling through?
Just spitting in the wind.
This didn't work. Damn, we've just spent cajillions on these acquisitions and got to make this money back, and I don't know, just throw everything at just get people playing our games and make some money off them. Like, is there a strategy, do you think, or is it just a...
I think there is. I just don't think that they've let on publicly what it actually is that they're trying to aim for.
I think we're seeing it. I think the strategy of the approach is to become too big to fail and broaden their wings so much so that whether we like it or not, we're engaging in their products.
Yes.
The idea that they don't need to be exclusive by being fucking everywhere.
Exactly.
Oh, are you buying Call of Duty at all in any way, shape, or form? Are you buying any shooter, pretty much? It's from their catalog. They own it. They don't need to be exclusive if they're... if they just dominate the market, if you just can't get away from them. I think that's kind of the plan.
It's like with Windows, you think of a PC, it's Microsoft, like, they're everywhere. And alright, they're not the best company by any stretch of the imagination, but they're everywhere. They're like the Disney of tech, if that makes sense.
It's Apple.
No, because... No, I'm not going to sit here and defend Apple, actually. I'm not going to do that. I can't do that. No.
Apple, in my mind, are a little bit like the Nintendo of the kind of stuff, which is they do their own thing to their loyal customers and charge them through the nose for it.
But damn it, they'll sue the hell out of anyone else. No.
Yeah, very much so.
That comparison actually holds up quite well, to be fair. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They're quite litigious of their IP. They go after it and stuff like that. Because I watched a really interesting video by American sort of comedian commentator Adam Conover recently about subscription services, which is, and his view is that like Netflix's business aim was to disrupt the market, like change the market, not really to replace it with anything, but just to disrupt it and make loads of money off that kind of speculation of it. And I wonder if Microsoft's thing was to do the same thing, like, well, if everyone gets accustomed to a subscription model, we're the only sort of show in town. And it's interesting because I don't feel like it's panned out, but it doesn't mean it won't go that way. But I don't know if it does work quite the same way.
I feel like these things always kind of go full circle, though. Like, they become the thing they sought to destroy, and not in a non like metaphoric sense, but literally, like, let's be honest. Okay, so they created like subscription models like Netflix and stuff like that because we were getting annoyed with cable and constant ads and divvying up different packages and all that kind of stuff. And now you look at Amazon Prime and they're selling you like 5-6 different channel packages to watch what you actually want. So people end up kind of getting annoyed with that and end up wanting to own their own product again. They want DVD. You just want to own it because, well, that's fucking annoying again. You became the annoying channel thing that we were trying to get away from. And I end up wondering, like, when the monetization hits a point where we're not willing to put up with it because it became the problem that it was supposed to solve.
You were supposed to destroy the Sith, not join them.
Yeah, will it become like, if they remove the option entirely and they just don't sell physical options and we don't have a choice, then we're funneled down the one route. But if they don't take away the other option and the one route becomes annoying, then the market will just kind of make a decision at some point, I feel.
Yeah, I think that's true. And I think possibly as well, the other problem is that they weren't really solving a problem because of the other options out there. I think like Steam already offers a really, really good service to consumers that people already bought into. PlayStation and, you know, all the on live services have, with the use of backwards compatibility to a certain extent, have already got a benefit to using them. So it's a little bit like the only problem they're solving is value for money in the sense that they offer a lot for a cheap amount, which is definitely awesome. It's the reason I've kept myself.
But we had to fight for backwards compatibility, which was kind of annoying.
Yeah. I mean, I think Microsoft
because they wanted to resell shit to us.
PlayStation were not going to do it, and then they backed on that because of the backlash. And Xbox didn't do it for ages, and then we all kicked off about it, and then we got it
because we picked
and
up.
Then they stopped it.
To sell us.
And then Nintendo do it all the time in different ways to make you pay for the same game 44 times. Nintendo's the kings of just reselling you package shit. But
I mean, how many times can you buy Super Mario World 1?
Yeah, I've got on everything, and I just don't know why. You know,
exactly.
it's just
it's an addiction.
It is like it's. But then that said, I don't have as many copies as I do as Resident Evil 4. I don't know why, but we're re-releasing Resident Evil 4, and this time it's got a new color scheme. Like, I'm gonna buy that.
It's upgraded. So Xbox has dropped the ball and hasn't really dropped the ball because they're playing the long game. They're just so ahead of the curve that no one's really sure what they're doing until 5 years later. I'm like, oh shit, that's what they were doing. So
that's the optimistic view. But right now, I think we said it earlier, it's like I haven't turned my Xbox console itself on for a long time because I'll either play it on PC or I'll play other platforms for my...
Here's a pessimistic view. Do they give a fuck if we already bought the console?
No.
We already spent the money. It's already... They don't care if we turned it on, I guess. Hey, here's the question.
I mean, like, you know,
have you still paid your Game Pass bill?
Of course I have.
Well, I mean, I don't want to get into specifics, but there may have been some fiddling on my part. I have got Game Pass until the end of 2026.
Yes, but that's someone else that they're putting a nix into.
Which is fair enough. There are loopholes. But yeah, I mean, the truth is that but I would save everything though. If I was going to cut anything from my gaming life, if I had to, you know, if I hit financial dire straits and I couldn't afford and I was paying monthly, I would cut Games Pass instantly because I've got a big enough library elsewhere. Steam is still cheaper to get games I want to play, you know,
and you still
bundles
have
on Humble and stuff. Yeah, I've got this library forever. It would be the first thing to go, but it's also right now I could afford it. Yeah, it's great to have that option because there's always stuff like, I fancy other week, I fancy playing Forza 5. I fancy a racing game. I'll just download it, play it.
Yeah. I have a note on that. A buddy wanted to play some Gears Horde mode a while ago, and I've been playing mostly on PC here. So my thought was, I want to play where I'm kind of most comfortable lately instead of having to reinstall it on an Xbox and all that kind of stuff. And I realized, well, I don't have it on this. I have a copy of Gears 5, physical copy, because I bought it when it came out. And I'm like, well, shit, I guess I gotta rebuy it. And then I'm like, well, no, I don't, because I'm paying for Game Pass. I already have it on PC. It's you know what I mean? It is really handy sometimes. You kind of forget the utility of it until you're like, oh, I guess this is right here, isn't it?
And sometimes stuff comes out, not necessarily big AAA, like I'm a big fan of Chinese room developer in the UK. Their recent game Still Waits the Deep. I've been following it a while on their on their blogs and stuff, the development of it. And it launched. It's on Game Pass day one. It's like, okay, great. Played it on console and on cloud. You know, brilliant. I don't have to buy that game.
That's a good game as well.
It's absolutely a cracking game. Definitely going to be in my top games of the year list.
Because we were talking about like big exclusives and like things that kind of end up selling consoles and stuff like that. Sometimes they can't even predict them. These things come out of nowhere, like Power World or Helldivers. Yeah. they can't predict what's gonna take off and become the next big thing. Yeah. They can try to chase it, but they never really know what's gonna take off.
Because gamers are
audiences audiences are, I think.
Yeah.
But it's funny what we. Yes.
Cool. Yeah, so I kind of feel that, I don't know, we're at a real crossroads, I think, with Microsoft. They've got a choice. I think they're either going to they've either got to double down, and as you said, you won't realize it, but in 5 years' time, you'll be playing their games somewhere. They don't really care. Like you'll be playing your card, you'll be playing Doom somewhere because they own it. Even if you're playing it on, or they really know what they're doing, and it's just they're gonna have to back out of the console space and just become software publishers and just by choice or not. I can't really tell if there's a my gut feel is there isn't a grand plan, but because of the amount of money they've spent, they're going to be all right because they've got the titles.
They can't afford.
Somewhere is a boardroom, and they've had conversations about the things we brought up here, and this one works, maybe not this one, and they're talking the pros and cons, and whether this plan or whatever they're cooking comes to fruition or works out is one thing, but I'm sure in some boardroom somewhere they're shooting shit.
Well,
I still don't think the traditional console model exists in the way it used to. I do think that sort of the PS4, Xbox One era was the last traditional console gen. It's my gut feel, and I don't know. Like as I said, people go, "Oh, Sony have won this generation." It's like, well, units, yes, they're making a lot of money, but there's nothing new happening in those sectors. They're doing the same.
It's you're beating someone at a game they're not even playing. Xbox is playing a different game. They're chasing subscription models, not.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Xbox were both chasing PlayStation at the same game, but also trying something new. And I don't know if either of them will work. I think they were doing both. They were like, yeah, get excited about our first party titles, get a Series X, get a Series S, like huge launches, look at our lineups, and then they're kind of like, they've got all these exclusive games, and they're kind of like, but we spend quite a lot of money on these games, so you can play them, we don't really care, play them wherever.
And you can see PlayStation trying to chase the Game Pass model retroactively, and they're like, shit, you can see it with like all their
PS Plus and PS Extra.
PS Plus, yeah, that they're trying to chase the Game Pass model because they realized, okay, all right, you guys won there, and that seems to be working out for you. We dropped the ball on that, so we need to be more competitive. And
Sony as well, releasing their games PC, and they're not doing day and date. They've really managed to do the return on investment. Like they've sold, I think Horizon sold several million copies just on PC, which was at the time it was released was a 4-year-old game. It's pretty good for a 4-year-old game. A couple of million.
I mean, I held off on buying Returnal just so I could on Steam, and that was a PS5 exclusive.
It's literally like and people like me would definitely buy a new Bloodborne on PC, please.
Oh fuck yeah!
Tomorrow I'd buy it again and again. I'd buy it on PlayStation 5 and PC.
Do it.
Yeah, just fear the old blood, James. Fear it.
Right. On that note, you strange bastards.
Tony, please.
Xbox is trailing and leading the charge. What do you think, though? Down there in interwebland, do you agree with us? Do you think we've just been rambling for 55-ish minutes?
I mean, we have.
Yes, but have we made a good point, or do you completely disagree with it? Sound off in comments or wherever you are, and let us know how you feel about this and all of our other good stuff that we do. I, of course, been James Raw for the Nerdy Paradox. You could probably hear my son in the background. He's a noisy little shit. I, of course, been joined by Rudy Manchego.
Michael.
Thank you indeed. And Squiddy P himself.
Hello, and goodbye.
Thank you for taking the reins for me at the top of the show, by the way, Mike. That's very, very kind of you, sir. Very kind of you.
Anytime, brother.
Yes, and hopefully we'll see you all again very soon. And
plugs. Join us on Discord. See us on
yes.
Twitch. Plugs.
Check out the nerdyparadox.com for lots of articles and stuff and links to all our content.
And check Mike out on Twitch, where he'll stream
things.
Are you still streaming Helldivers as we speak, or have you moved on?
Helldivers, I still fuck with Helldivers.
You fell off a bit.
At some point we're gonna. It's kind of just a big one. I intend to do Soma at some point here, but
we do have Space Marines 2 to play.
That's coming out tomorrow because I'm not buying that gold edition. Not paying into that early access, which is really just delayed launch for people who aren't willing to pay extortion. Anyways, and there's also the YouTube channel.
Next month on the Sodcast.
Yeah, no kidding.
Why we don't play gold by gold edition?
Don't pre-order.
Except the times we do.
Yeah.
Right, good stuff. Thank you both, and thank you for listening. You've been wonderful.
See you later.
The real MVPs.